This time I'm trying a canoe route outside Jokkmokk, and I don't know if it's possible to do it. I'm here together with my brother Thomas, and we are trying to going on the big lake and then carry the canoe over to some small lakes and end up back in the big lake again. This is a route I've been looking at for a while, and I never tried it. And I've lived in this area since 1991, so it will be quite interesting. And I think it's two main issues with this. One is that the portage between the lakes, no one travel there, no one go there. They are kind of short, just 300 meters each, three of them. But it could be very dense forest and very interesting terrain. Second problem we could have is that both me and my brother love coffee, and already now we are kind of late because we stopped here and had coffee already more or less before we started out. So it's kind of late now, it's 4 o'clock, and now we enter the canoes again. So we have a kind of interesting situation here because we have one sea eagle and then we have two osprey that attacking that eagle. So really nice, really nice. Now we're searching for a camp spot, and we have an idea where we want to be. So it's close to the portage tomorrow where we're going to carry the canoe. And now we have reached the point that I thought was good. And very often when you have planned a camp spot, when you come there, it's not good. So then you had to find another one. But here it looks actually really nice. We had to check a little bit closer. Annie, varsågod. We're searching for a spot with pine trees, a dry spot, and this is wind exposed, and that's good now because of the mosquitoes. So here it's super nice, super flat place for camping here. 2 tents easily. We have 2 solo tents, and then there is a fireplace there, and the old fireplace here, and we will have the sunset and we have the sunrise tomorrow. A little bit of wind, no mosquitoes. Really nice. Now we just had to unload the canoes and put them on the land. So you should never leave the canoe in the water so they're wagging or you have the risk of it drifting away. So I always lift the canoe up to the land and put them upside down. Or most of the time I put them upside down.
Så där bara, va? Ja.
Jaha, nej.
Not yet.
I just thought my brother was crazy because he said that two of the bird was having sex out there, and they had sex in the water, and I actually filmed it, so I have a kind of bird porno video. You want the copy? The dinner we had today was beef meat that we fried together with potato salad. You know, potato, mayonnaise and things like that. And then we had coffee and chocolate and cookies, and now it's time for tea. So far we have been only on the first lake and not starting to carry the canoe over to next lake. I just checked with the drone, and it looks like it's coming out a small creek here on the other side, and it's a lot of wetland, so maybe we can paddle in there and drag the canoe over there, or at least we can walk on some dry ridges over there. So the drone is not only good for filming, it's also good for checking the route when you do some portages like this. And it's also really fun to fly with the drone and look around. We were recently talking about when will the sun set down, and I checked in the weather app, and next time the sun will set down is 8th of July. Today is 8th of June. So we have 4 weeks with midnight sun. This is the darkest time of the day right now. And when you're looking at the midnight sun, that the sun is not going below the horizon, is when the earth is totally flat. And now we are in the valley with the lakes and with the river, and then you have a hill, and that's why we have the sun dipping below the horizon right now. If we have been on a hill, it have been sunlight all the time. This area is just a random area somewhere in the northern Sweden. Now it's of course Jokkmokk area, but it's more or less a random area. It's no national park, no protected nature reserve and so on. And we have tons of this kind of nature. The sad thing is that it's still possible that someone suddenly decide that they're going to clear cut this forest. But we still have a lot of areas like this where you can travel around. Today we had a very easy day on the lake, and tomorrow the challenge starts, because then we are hiking in here and try to reach next lake. That will be super interesting. Now, time for the bed. It's a new day, and today we're going to figure out if we can cross over to the next lake, if the portage will work or not. My brother have already been down here and started the fire, and the coffee water is already on. It's a really nice day again, but now they promise thunderstorm in some hours. Heavy rain, heavy wind and thunderstorm. This probably it's just coming for a few minutes, like you know how it is when it's thunderstorm come. But then we don't want to be in the middle of a lake, we want to be a little bit on the side. 47. Är det dags att ta den? Nej, du får Ja. It looks really nice. The sun is shining again and it starts getting warm. So now we start the work to try to reach next lake. First we're going to try the small creek. And if that don't work, then we have to go through the forest. Bushwalk with canoes and all equipment. So let's see. The first part looks really dry, but we will see later on, you see. This creek looks like really calm, but it's so much winding back and forward here. But it is really deep. Oh, there is fishes in there. Small, tiny fish in the creek. But no. I think we just had to accept the fact that we had to carry here. That's how it is. So take the backpack and walk. And then when we do a portage like this, we first maybe take the backpack and walk up, and then we come back and get the canoes on the second tour. So it will be a little bit walking back and forward. Trail here, suddenly a trail. This is really short portages between the lakes, because we already now see next lake, just few steps. Maybe we don't feel it like few steps when we have the canoes. But so far it's just moss on the ground, so I think we can pull the canoes. Maybe that will work out very fine. We will try. That was the first portage. It is heavy to do them, of course, but it also gives a very nice feeling, and some physical work is not bad for you. It's actually good for you, so why not? We had the seagull again, twice over us, so it's so nice to see all these birds of prey. Really nice. It's so nice to be back on the water again. Now we're just a few kilometers crossing this lake, and then next portage. Yeah. Let's dig some water. I can already see some nice camp spots here. And there is some wind here, and then absolutely no mosquitoes. We had a few horseflies when we was carrying the canoe. Now it's lovely. Remember to drink. So now we enter the young forest, and this is the downside with being in this close area, because this is not natural. This is cutted and then replanted, sadly. I was flying the drone, and when I landed it, I put my finger into the prop, and that's no problem for the fingers, but the problem is that I destroyed the prop. So now no more flying on this tour, because someone left all the spare props at home. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. We looked at the weather forecast and they still promised thunderstorm again. So our plan was to have lunch up there, but now we decide to cross this lake, have a lunch before the third portage, and if we get the thunderstorm, we are in a place where we can camp and still reach the starting point tomorrow. So we're crossing this lake and cross our fingers and hope for no thunderstorm. This is very interesting because here it's an area where it had been a forest fire. Here we find a boat. Someone have left a boat, and there is a trail here going over to next lake. So we find a portage actually, so that's great. Now we will have some lunch and then we walking down to next lake. When you have a fire in terrain like this, it's super important to take it out and put a lot of water on it, and even water around it, because you need to make sure that the glow didn't follow a route. So a lot of water, take it out. Wow. Just around the corner and then we see next lake. This is not bad at all. This is really, really good. So now we're back on the same lake where we started. But we have one more night we're going to spend somewhere around this place. We don't really know yet. We will see. Paddled really short and now I just reached the land and now I'm searching for a camp spot. And what do we think about this? Look. I have to admit, one thing is bad with this high spot because thunderstorm is coming in. But when I look at the weather forecast, it seems like the thunderstorm just passing by us. So I think we should go for this. So I don't really understand what happened. Annie usually never. What are you doing in our pot? Are you so okay? She usually never take food from us like this. But she's 10-year-old now, and why not start a new habit? Annie, what are you doing? Hey! Sometimes we got the question, why do you do a tour like this? And we have tons of very interesting areas that are like this outside national parks, and it's not any special with this area, just a random area that's are totally outside the tourist areas. And when you make a tour like this, it's not about doing a lot of kilometers per day, it's not about anything like that. It's very much about existing out here, paddling a little bit, having campfire, camping, nice chats, eating something, drinking the water from the lake, and just cruising around and having a nice time. And now when we have reached this lake, the circle is almost closed, because from here I know it's possible to paddle all the way back to the car. And I've been in this area before with canoe and started from the car into this direction. So the part of the tour that I was not sure if we could do was the portages between the lakes, and yeah, they were absolutely really much better than I expected them to be. And now we have dragged the canoe in the moss, and I was thinking about that today. Maybe it's easier actually to carry the canoes on the shoulder. I do that sometimes also. Most of the time I carry the canoe on the shoulder, and maybe that is what we should have done. I don't know why we start dragging them. So the optimal way of traveling here is to have just one backpack per person, and maybe being 2 person per canoe. But both me and my brother enjoy having our own canoes, and now we had a little bit too much luggage. So yeah, if you do it as 2 person on one canoe and have one backpack per person, this will be really easy going, really easy to. And I can highly recommend this route if anyone want to do a 2, 3, 4 day, 5 day trip, and just enjoying the bird life and everything. And we have seen a lot of birds here this time. And now the mosquitoes start waking up a little bit in the evening, but we haven't had much mosquitoes either. So we have been lucky. Now it's time to go to bed, and Annie is already in the tent sleeping. And Thomas went just into his tent just recently. So, see you tomorrow. So the wind increased suddenly, and we crossed where the river meet the waves, and that was a little bit more waves than I expected. And my camera was down in the bag, of course. Now my brother was drifting into another place here. He couldn't go around the half island, but I was lucky to do it. So now we carried his canoe around this place because this was really sketchy. As you see, everything that happened out here isn't on video. So we will survive, and we are happy to, I believe that we are happy. And thanks for watching, and I hope I see you next video. Now we're just going to do the last couple of kilometers, then we are back in the car. And we actually succeed to make the loop, and that's really nice. See you in next video. Ciao.